I guess it's just odd how shit like that.
Alright, so if you notice those 3 little diamonds filled in, that means I got all 3 of the crystal shards for that level.
Mm-hmm.
So every level, except for the boss ones, has 3 crystal shards, so I think if you collect all of them, then you get that optional boss. Or I'm not even sure if it's all of them, it might just be most, but I'm gonna try to go for all of them.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't have faith in you. Not gonna lie.
So, like, what do you think the odds are of me doing it?
1 in a billion.
Billion? That's not very good.
Billion. Well, I'm not a nice person. I don't place high odds.
I mean, it's just a Kirby game. It's not like it's a really difficult game.
No, but I'd still like to see you, like, fail.
Wow, that's
You
pretty...
really blame a guy for that?
That's like a juggernaut or something. He just marches through the enemies.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Silly bitch. Your weapons cannot hurt me. So what would you think your favorite power in this game is?
Like I mentioned, it's probably be the ninja throwing star thing.
Yeah.
Which I
Do you have
think...
another?
You mean a second favorite?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's hard to say. The electric... No, not... I was gonna say the electric force field, but then, sometimes it isn't all that effective. Like, sometimes it misses, so I guess that wouldn't be it.
That's the two electrics, right?
Yeah.
I really like that one too. That one's pretty awesome.
Maybe it'd be the flaming sword one. I think that's fire and, boomerang or something.
Yeah. That one's pretty damn cool. I see why you would like that.
So, that refrigerator one is kind of useful for storing health, but it's not that useful for fighting.
It's not?
Not really. I guess you can throw food at enemies, but it's kind of awkward and difficult to control.
Like, I know it's a pain in the ass to actually hit them with it, but I know it damages them at least.
Yeah, you can damage them, it just isn't as easy to do as it is with other weapons, so it's not... you can use it to fight, it's just not quite as good as other items. So if you notice there's a star trail leading down, so I think that leads to a crystal shard down there.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
So,
are some of them, like, really hard to find?
some of them are, yes. Most of them are pretty out in the open, but sometimes you have just these really difficult ones.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. It kind of makes sense if you think about it. Because while they don't want it to be too insanely hard, they also don't want it to be insanely easy.
Mm-hmm. So I guess if you hit that enemy's spring, it doesn't hurt them. You gotta hit the actual body.
Ah.
You know, it's kind of funny. You'd think you'd be able to hit the spring, because if you mess up its spring, it wouldn't be able to bounce around like that, but I guess they just didn't program that in.
Some of them require Kirby to have certain powers, don't they?
I believe so, yes.
Like, you have to have certain combinations that may or may not be in the level.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
That sounds actually pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so this is the second boss here, this painter kid.
Ah, he doesn't look tough. I think you could take him. Destroy him. Destroy him! So, are there some hard bosses in this game, or are they usually pretty meh?
There are a few hard bosses, yeah.
Such as?
I'd say, you know, it's like any game, the bosses get tougher as it goes along, so the bosses near the end of the game are pretty challenging.
Okay, so some of them are easy, but some of them are very hard.
Yeah. Mostly it's the mini-bosses that are easy, like the ones in the middle of the level.
Mm-hmm. Which one? Do you have a favorite boss?
Probably the boss of the game. Or at least, not the optional boss, but the boss that I played.
Ah.
So I guess it's kind of I guess it's kind of debatable which one is the final boss, because one of them is optional, one of them is mandatory.
Okay. So it's really just kind of randomized on which ones... I can see that.
So I guess I should say the final mandatory boss that you need in order to beat the game.
Well, it makes sense, I suppose. So, would you say an optional boss is one of your favorites?
There's only... I think that's the only optional boss is the one I was talking about, and I haven't played him, so it's kind of hard for me to say right at the moment. I guess I'll find out later. It's gonna be hard to top that final boss, though. That was a lot of fun.
Which one is he?
It's a little difficult to describe, but I think it's like, he goes around and adopts different abilities, and you can only attack him with the, ability that he's currently using, so like he has a bomb form, and then you can only attack him with bombs. So that was really anticlimactic. I was waiting for him to get a star or something so that I could blast it into him, which is what you have to do on 90% of the bosses, but on that one you can just slide into him and it knocks him out.
So are you going to be fighting the bosses vanilla style, or are you going to use powers?
It depends on the bosses. For these early ones, they're really easy, so I kind of like to do it without power-ups just to add to the challenge, but on some of the later ones, I go with the abilities.
So basically it just feels like whatever you feel like.
Yeah, just whatever I feel like at the time, whatever I think would be most fun.
I guess that makes sense. I can't really damn you for that. Well, I can, I just choose not to.